Spiritual awakening as an evolutionary process. Spiritual awakening is a necessity, it isn't an option. In order for us to experience the totality of our existence, we must spiritually awaken. Spiritual awakening is different from a mental exercise. Spiritual awakening is not the same as psychotherapy. Spiritual awakening is not the same as going to a healer. Spiritual awakening is not a tarot card reading. Spiritual awakening is not going to an astrologer or a numerologist. These are all tools that are always available. You may feel drawn towards any of these things, including the occult, when you are moving towards an awakening, but it isn't in itself indicative of the presence of the awakened state. A spiritual awakening is a gradual unfolding of all petals, unfolding and unraveling your very own reality to yourself gradually. Spiritual awakening is not an overnight process. Spiritual awakening will shake you. Spiritual awakening will break you. But spiritual awakening will make you. Spiritual awakening is the be-all and end-all, without which you cannot experience all of your dimensions. Spiritual awakening is not a 3D reality. Spiritual awakening opens you to the cause of us. Spiritual awakening opens you to the causality, the causal plane, the subtle plane, the astral plane. Spiritual awakening takes you beyond that which you have known so far. Spiritual awakening gives you the grit. Spiritual awakening gives you the biggest confidence in order for you to walk your true light, your authentic self, even though for the time being you might still be a work in progress. Nevertheless, you have learned to embrace that which is dark inside of you. You have learned to embrace your shadows. You have learned to acknowledge that things may not appear as they are, yet you look at life with the curiosity with which a child does, so that you don't take anything at face value, so that you no longer feel disempowered, but rather empowered by your spiritual awakening, no matter how debilitating this might at times look like and feel like, so that you start to enter into phases of exhaustion, into phases of isolation, into breakdowns of relationships, into no longer knowing yourself, no longer knowing who you are or what your new personality is, not knowing what to eat, not knowing when to sleep, not knowing what to wear, but finding that every aspect of your life is going through an overhaul, feeling uncertain, feeling tired and yet energetic, feeling the pair of opposites almost all of the time. But underneath it all, you have a strong resilience that has developed inside of you that doesn't come from a hard skin, but comes from a softening of yourself in accepting and in allowing, in your absolute vulnerability, your innocence, your childlike awe, to now look at life again. The fundamental difference between a spiritual awakening and any psychotherapy that you will ever do, any healing of the mind that you will ever do, is that a spiritual awakening is uniting, it is not dividing. A spiritual awakening brings together. A spiritual awakening does not have a way. A spiritual awakening does not insist on one way. Spiritual awakening is all encompassing.